What is up, my subscribers? It's been a long time since I have uploaded a video of any sort. Um, so today I got a bit of a different thing for you. Um, so as this is primarily for my old subscribers. So as many of you may or may not recall, I am actually a competitive Pokemon battler. Um, so I have my friend Pirate here, and we were like just messing around I don't know, almost midnight for me, and I was like, hey, let's battle. So we just did a battle, and yeah, we're gonna see how it turns out. So this is my first time narrating, so please pardon me for that. So I can't give you the team preview yet, but because it's in replay format, but I'll do my best. Oh, never mind. So, um, as you can see from my team, I have a Mienshao, Staraptor, Manetric, Scizor, Latios, and Landorus. This isn't my team. This is actually a team that I got from CTC, I believe. He's on Smogon. And my boy Pirate here is using Terrakion, Raikou, Staraptor, Bisharp, Pinsir, and Landorus. Now, so I'll give you a little bit of background on my team. Um, Mian Shao is a sub baton passer with fake out and high jump kick. Um, now the original team calls for Tornadus Therian with acrobatic superpower, taunt, and U-turn. However, I didn't want to use that because I figured, well, the move set is almost the same with the exception of taunt to Staraptor. So what I'm using here is a choice banded Staraptor. That's right, choice banded, reckless boosted, with Brave Bird, U-turn, close combat, and return. And the reason why I return over Double Edge is because if for some reason I need to lock myself into a move that doesn't produce um, recoil, but at the same excuse me, but at the same time is a stab move, then that's why I return. I have my Mega Manetric as a pivot switcher as well as just a really good special attacker, and then I have bulky Landorus for rocks and stuff. It's actually going to be doing quite a bit of work in this battle. Um, then I got a lefty Scizor, which I was quite puzzled by when I first got the team, but it actually does some work, a bit more than I actually gave it credit for. And then there's Latios. Excuse me. So what I was thinking in the team preview was, um, now if he knowing Pirate, I know he sometimes uses the Sash lead Terrakion, and as you can see, he does lead with it. Now, I wasn't entirely sure though. He could also lead off with his own Landorus because it's also a great lead as well to my team, with the exception of if I go off with Manetric. Plus, I don't know if it's a choice Scarf variant or not. Um, I was thinking also that Staraptor could be a possible starter because if it's choice banded, that is gonna wreck anything that I bring in. So I need to get that Intimidate off ASAP. And then Raikou, I don't think he's gonna lead off with it because its only pivot switch move is Volt Switch, and yeah, so that's my thought process right there. Sorry about the long explanation, but I want to make sure that you all understand what's going through my head. So he does reveal the Sash lead, so I'm gonna keep. I actually forget about this at the late game, but you're gonna see what happens. So I get the Intimidate off, and here I know he's not gonna stay in, and um, I want to just break the potential Sash, which is why I go for U-turn out, because I know he's not gonna stay in. Plus, it also lets me scout for leftovers. Now here I bring it in because bring in Manetric because I want to scare him out. At this point of the match, it's too early to be too crazy with the predictions, so I'm going to just switch out directly to Landorus as a safe move. Excuse me, I have, I have a bit of mucus. Alright, so here I actually make a ballsy play. Now you may be thinking it's not really that ballsy because um of what you're gonna see that actually happens, which I'm gonna show you now. He goes for the volt switch, and I go for the earthquake. Now, let me explain why that happened. Now, considering that I know pi3rate quite well on his playstyle, and he knows me on my playstyle, I actually predicted to a very high degree in order to make this play. I didn't simply just think, oh, he's going to think the HP ice is too obvious, and he knows I'm going to switch out, so he's going to go for the volt switch. It's not that simple. What I was doing actually was I was thinking that my switching out predicting him to know that I'm going to stay in is too obvious. So it's a couple moves forward in terms of thinking, and it actually worked out great because he lost one of his most potential threats to my team. So yeah, it was like I don't know, what is that, like 4 stage um, thought process in the future. So he loses that, which is fantastic for me. I'm back at full health. Now he brings in Star After with, and here I'm thinking, well, um, what I think is he's probably gonna go for a return or a normal type move like double edge, and I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not. So I'm figuring, well, either way, Mian Shao is the most expendable Pokemon on my team because it only has High Jump Kick as its best offensive move, and it only really hits super effectively the Terrakion and Bisharp, which I really don't need help to get. So I'm just going to use that as a way to scout. And he gets a bit of recoil there, which is fine. Now I know that he is oh, and sorry, Pirate also requested me to let you know that um, back in the Raikou play with against Landorus, he thought it was a choice. I was using a choice scarf variant. However, I don't agree with him staying in either way because either way it's just not a good play. It was a very bad play. Um, but anyway, so back to this. Um, so uh, can't remember what he does here, but I believe he switches out. So I'm going to go for the U-turn. It's too early to set up with Sword Stance because they're just simply too many things that can like lower my attack, like Landorus. So that's gonna help, and then the U-turn actually does a pretty nice amount. So now I'm going to go into my Magnetric, and the reason I do that is because I can finally Mega Evolve safely to get that speed boost I need. Um, Now here I'm thinking he may go into Landorus, but that's a very obvious play, which is why he might predict me to predict something else, which is what he wants me to think. That he's gonna think that I'm gonna do. So this is a very big future move that I'm trying to think of. But so I'm thinking, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go for the overheat because it it'll hit the pincer super effectively. It'll do quite a bit to the Landorus. It'll do a lot to the Staraptor, and it'll probably OHKO the Bisharp. So in either case, it probably hits with the most range. And he does switch out, not trying to lose his Mega Pincer yet, since that is his Mega. Alright. Now I have to switch out, and I'm gonna go to just Scizor because I know for a fact that he's gonna U-turn out because I'm at -2. Um, it doesn't make sense for him to try to predict and go for a knockoff this soon because um, well, actually, it does make sense for him to go for a knockoff because he can get rid of the choice band on my Staraptor. He can get rid of lefties on Scizor. Um, but I think I have Roost on Scizor. But anyways, so I don't know. Maybe he doesn't carry knockoff, but I highly doubt that. Um, but I guess what he was trying to do here was he was trying to mainly maintain his momentum since I did make a very aggressive play before. So he's going to U-turn out, and now he's going to go into his pincer. So now I'm going to switch out to Landorus to get the Intimidate off because in case he does go for the Sword Stance, this will put him in a predicament where he probably has to switch out. And he just goes for the direct return. Now, here I made a bit of an aggressive play because, well, I don't know if it's really, you can count it as aggressive. Um, what I was thinking here was he's got a return which, with the Aerial Aid boost, makes it a flying type move. And even at -1, it would do quite a bit to anything I bring in, with the exception of Magnetric. And I wouldn't want to bring Magnetric in because of the risk of crit damage. And so here I'm thinking he probably will expect me to switch out, which is why I'm going to predict that and go for the Stone Edge. And as you see, that happens. Now the good thing is that for him is that my Landorus is now at a not really a great amount of HP, so it is at revenge kill range. And as you can see, he does go for the knockoff. He is running Jolly Nature Life Orb, which is good for me. Now, the reason why I bring in an offensive Pokemon on this, well, actually all of them are offensive, but the reason why I bring in Staraptor is because I ran some damage calcs and I found that Staraptor is the only option I have for hitting the Bisharp in one hit and just destroying it, but also surviving a Sucker Punch. Because Mega Magnetric can it will just die. And Latios, I don't even remember what my Latios set is, but um, it might be Life Orb variant. I'm not entirely sure because I didn't really use it, and I'm not very familiar with this team. And then I didn't want to take a crap load of damage with Scizor, so this was my best option. And um, because he goes, excuse me, I'm blanking out, but because I have Staraptor in here, if he wants to do some damage, that's fine by me, but he loses his Bisharp. Therefore, I'm forcing him to either attack and die, but leave my Staraptor at low health, or switch out, and I'll still have my Staraptor at full health. And as you can see, that I go for the close combat, that takes him out. Now he brings in his own Staraptor, which I don't really agree with, mainly because he could have gotten a lot of momentum back because he could have gone for the knockoff. Um, oh yeah, that's one. Alright, so um, he could have got a lot of momentum because he could have predicted something. He could have gone for a Stone Edge. He could have gone for a knockoff, an Earthquake. He could have done um, quite a bit of damage and forced me to just sack my Staraptor, which I do in either case. But he could also present a much bigger threat to my team if he simply let off with that. But because he let off with Staraptor and he's choice locked, I know that I can bring in Mega Magnetric for free. Now here, I was thinking, well, the lander switch is quite obvious, and again, um, going for the T-Bolt would be something that is safe because well, it's not really safe, but I'm predicting him to predict me, to predict the lander switch. And I'm thinking that might be obvious, so he would predict me to know that he's going to predict that me to know that. So basically, I was thinking he'll switch to Terrakion as a middle ground because it doesn't really do that much anyway, since it's a Sash lead, which I still forgot. But I was thinking, well, as long as I have Latios, Terrakion cannot take me out in one shot, assuming that I don't switch into it. So here, this is where my over predictions go too far ahead, and I just mess it up and go for the Volt Switch. And as you can see, he doesn't have leftovers, so I know he's probably Scarfed. I go into Scizor. He actually makes a play and goes into that, but I think he could have gone for the knockoff here if he has it, because that would Oko Latios, and that would do quite a bit of damage to Scizor, as well as get rid of my lefties. But hey, what are you going to do? Now here, what you're going to see is quite dumb. So he goes in here, he goes for the Brave Bird, or I go for the Bullet Punch first, and I survive. Now this is a bad play because had I done the damage calcs, I still haven't, but if I had, I could have gone for the Swords Dance and actually sweep the whole team from here on out. So I made it a bit harder than it really had to be, because I could have gone for the +2, go for the Bullet Punch, take out the Staraptor. He can bring in the Landorus, but as you're going to see in a couple turns, it didn't matter. Alright, so here you can see that he's at 33%. Now watch how much damage a -1 does. Leaves it with 8%. So, and he does reveal knockoff here, so I don't know why he didn't go for it before. So as you can tell, if I went for that, then I could have swept, or at least made, and then well, I couldn't sweep the Terrakion because I know it's a Sash lead. So but that's fine because I could have just brought in Magnetric or something. And here I'm going to go for the T-Bolt because I don't want to risk him staying in, which actually doesn't make any sense, so it doesn't matter. And now he sends in this, and he forfeits. So there you have it. And had he decided to keep going, he would have had to lock himself into Stone Edge, hoping for a crit, or he would have had to go into knockoff. But probably he would have to lock himself into Stone Edge and hope for a crit. I don't even know if a Stone Edge crit would take me out. It probably could, considering Mega Magnetric's like not really that great defenses. Um, but he would basically have to hope for 2 Stone Edge crits in a row in order to win the game. So that's the end of this narration. Hope my first attempt at this wasn't too shabby. If you like how pi3rate played, go check out his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. And hopefully I'll be able to present more Pokemon battles like this. So until next time, so long.